Welcome back to my channel. I'm Precious Dorsey, and as you can see, I am here one-on-one with you guys. And in the first video is my husband was in that video. You will see majority of me because this is mainly like my channel, but my husband, he'll be like co-starred in some of the videos, just talking about his relationship with God and how God changed his life and how he became close to God too. But majority of the videos will be of me. And today I just wanted to talk about how God changed my life and how I knew God was like really real. Like I know God is real, but how I knew God was like really real. And I can say like I remember growing up, I had a pretty good childhood. I had some, some challenges, growing up, and it started back when I was in the, I can say first grade. That's when everything started like spiraling out, and um, the guy my mom was with, wasn't a best example of a father figure. And so, and also my dad wasn't in my life like a father's supposed to be. So I was kind of lacking a father figure, and that's when the looking for love in all the wrong places type of thing, you know as I got older. But we'll get to that story down the road. But I can say like how I knew God was real. I remember like in the first grade, I had this dream where like I honestly like met God. Like I really couldn't see his face, but I knew like my soul, like I knew that this was something special like I never felt before. Like I knew like this is like wow. And like my dream was like I was like in this white gown, and um I was like walking like in some clouds or something. It was like I don't even know. It was just like it was like a light that was super bright that I couldn't even like open my eyes up. I had to like squinch my eyes really low to like really see like where I was going. So I do like remember like me wanting to stay there. Like I did not want to like get up. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stay here. Like it's too beautiful for me to leave. So I remember hearing a voice, and literally he said like it's not your time. And I'm like, but I want to stay here. And God was like, it's not your time. And I remember like waking up in the morning. I was like so upset. Like how? Like I thought I was gonna be able to stay. You know what I'm saying? But like the reason I had that dream, I feel like because and that even though I was young between first and second grade, I dealt with some challenging. I tried to commit suicide in first and second grade, and I remember like just praying to God to like wishing death on my life. Like I was praying to God like, God, please like can you please allow me to die? I don't want to be here no more. And like, God, can you like I don't want to die painful, but I want to die in my sleep and not wake up. Like I literally remember like praying to God about those, like praying to him about this stuff. And it's just like it was just like me being so young. I'm like, as I think about it now, it's like mind blowing. Like wow, I was really like praying to God about like him like putting like, can he please kill me? You know what I'm saying? And um like the reason why I was dealing with a lot of like I say suicidal thoughts, mental health. Like I say, the guy my mom was with, he wasn't the best example of a father figure, and he also was very mentally, physically, and verbally abusive. And so uh, I got abused and stuff. And my mom, at the time, like she wasn't really, she also was getting, they also was going through their situations and, fights and arguing and all stuff like that too. He took that stuff out on me as well. And me not being his, his child, I mean, he didn't care. So, me and my mom, we was like, pretty close, but we also had some challenging mother-daughter relationship just because I just felt like at the time, she didn't do her best of protecting me like a mother's supposed to do. And, I felt really alone. I felt, out of place, like I didn't belong there because, he had his two, my brothers, they're his children and I'm not his child. So, I just felt out of place and I just felt, alone. And, he didn't treat them the way he treated me. So it was just, I just felt, just out of place, like I didn't belong there. So that's why I always just pray to God to just, take me away because I don't fit in their puzzle, And he made it, known like times where I just, didn't belong. And so, my mom, she just didn't wasn't there for me as I needed her to be. And it was kind of really, really hard to deal with it. And I just was so angry with her for years. And even though you love your mom, you always have that love in your heart for your mom, and it's just something special about your mothers. And even though like I, showed that love to my mom, deep down inside I was still so angry and so hurt by the things that she allowed to happen. And it really took a toll on me. Like I was having my heart like I, like health stuff just going on with me because I was just keeping all that pain and that hurt inside, where my body was like being overly stressed at a young age. And, I didn't know how to deal with it. And so, like me having my dad in my life, I wanted him to. I mean, he wasn't there. I mean, he didn't know what was going on because, we didn't really talk. So, I didn't tell him, majority of the stuff that was going on. So, he did not know whatsoever that I was going through this. And when I just knew, even though we went to church, but we went to church every other Sunday, maybe Easter, like the special occasions. And I remember, I always felt protected, and it may sound weird. I always felt like I was just protected. Everywhere I go, if I'm outside playing with my friends, or I'm just, doing kid stuff, I just felt a presence. I always knew that I was going to be okay. And I just felt God presence, even though I didn't go to church or I didn't, read the Bible like that. I still felt that God was real. I knew that he wanted me here. And, it took time for me to realize my purpose and my value of how special I am to God. And it was just even though I went through the challenges and the dealing with mental health at a young age, God still, killed me here because like I said, I tempted, was, tempting to do it. I was to commit suicide. I, did everything to almost do it. And I knew if I do this, I won't, I'm not coming back. And I didn't want to come back, but then like something, like I not something, the Holy Spirit, which I know now, was telling me do not do it. And I couldn't do it. Like I literally, like my heart was beating so fast. I felt sick in my stomach, like I could not do it. And I tried, like I say, twice, like first, second grade. And I was just like so overwhelmed with stress. And I just was like, I'm like so young, and I'm just like so overwhelmed with stress. And I just feel like, do I even belong here? You know, like, do I even matter enough to, you know, my mom or like, to like, would she even care if I die? Like, that's how I felt at the time. And I really felt like if I killed myself, I would be, you know, the world would be better off. Like I really felt, but I knew there was nothing but the enemy. I knew that he wanted to like steal, kill, and destroy. And that's how I knew that God was real, because he was right there the whole time. I felt in my spirit, like at a young age now, I felt like I can't do this, you know? And I was just like, wow, like I'm more than this, you know. I have a purpose here. I don't know what it is, but it must be important that the Holy Spirit told me not to do it, you know. And you know, like me and my mom, as years, you know, went by, you know, she stayed with the person for, you know, very a long time, despite what he has done to me. And she stayed with him for a very long time. And I'm not gonna say that I was depressed or anything, but I can say that I was really like in a very sad place, like emotionally just drained, and I just felt numb and so uncomfortable. And it was just, you know, was hard. I was always at my grandma's house because that's where I felt safe, honestly, and comfortable. I was away from him, so I felt, you know, I'm happy. I'm joking. I'm laughing. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all those things. I feel good. So I was always at my grandma's house. That's where like I was like always was at. Um, so it's just like, you know, my mom, she's like I said, she stayed with him for a very long time after that. And, you know, let me see, we went through a very, very, very hard, situation, my middle school year. And I can say elementary was rocky, like, it was rocky, like sadness and all type of things. It's dealing with so much, but still trying to like keep myself together. And then, you know, you know how you have, you know, you have the good days, you have your bad days. So like I remember in middle school, it was my 8th grade year. That's when we went through a hard patch. And we were, you know, I'm not gonna say homeless, but we had a roof over our head, but we was living in a motel. And it was there for like maybe like I'm gonna say almost a year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I like cried my eyes out. Like I cried so, like that cry that your throat is burning and you barely can breathe. Like that's how bad I was crying, because I'm like, I had to stay in this motel this one room. We had 2 beds, but this one room with this man who I do not like. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, this is not happening to me. Like, I cannot believe this happening to me. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like hopeless. Like, I just felt like I was just drowning in pain. And it was very, like, we were struggling. Like, it was a hard struggle. And I'm just like, I don't even know if I even prayed or talked to God during that time. I don't even remember, but I was just quiet and just like, I can, like, this is not how I want to, you know, live my life, you know? So it was still a struggle. We finally was able to, you know, find a place to stay. And I remember my 9th grade year, I got baptized when I was, I think, in 1st, 2nd grade. And I didn't really know the true meaning of, like, I mean, I knew, like, you know, they tell you in church why to get baptized, stuff like that, but it didn't mean a thing to me. So I just did it, you know? And so I remember my 9th grade year going into high school, I went to church, and it was a message that I needed to hear. It literally, like, changed my life. And it was like God was just talking to me, you know? He was just building me back up from the ground. Like, I was dead inside. And, you know, like, what the, you know, pastor was preaching, it was just like, it was like God was saying everything I needed, like, to hear through her, you know? And I remember, like, going up to the altar, and I just cried, and I cried. That crying when your eyes are, like, swollen and they're, like, red. That's how bad I was crying. I just fell to my knees, and I was just crying. And I remember my mom coming up to me behind me, and she was just crying as well. Because, like, we both, you know, like, I don't blame my mom. Like, I don't blame her for anything. I've forgiven her because I had to, just for my sake as well. But, you know, this is how I know that God was real. Because I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you how I knew God was real with my mom, with my dad, and with my relationships and stuff that I have, you know, went through to get to where relationship with my husband, that relationship I am with my husband in now. So, like, you know, me and my mom relationship got better my 9th grade year, and that's when she ended up, you know, leaving my brother's dad, and it's like it was a new chapter, a new leaf, you know, and I just felt so good. It was just so happy, you know, everything was great. And, you know, we still had our struggles, stuff like that, but we had each other, you know, my mom and my brothers, you know, it was just us four, and it was beautiful. I loved every minute of it. And I had to forgive my mom. And I know that, you know, God said, you know, you have to forgive others so God can forgive you for your sins. But I knew, like, I had to forgive my mom just because I couldn't hold on to the what ifs and stuff like that. I couldn't hold on to that pain. Like, just for me, like, I couldn't allow that pain to make me a bitter person, to make me angry. Like, as me being 27 years old, I realized, who don't want to be loved? You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't want to be alone. And, you know, my mom was looking for that love that she was lacking when she was growing up. So I feel like my mom was trying to build this man and change him, and so he can become something that you know, the love that she's looking for. But that love did not change him. you know, and I realized like people would do, you know, sometimes anything to feel love. And it's sad because we don't look in God. We don't look for God to fill that void. We look for mankind to. And when you have that void in your life where you missing something, nobody's not fulfilling it, that's how you know that it's God, that you need God in that void. You need God to fill that emptiness that you're feeling. And you know, I believe my mom did a whole 360. That's how I knew God was real. I was like, this isn't the woman that, you know, that I had growing up. You know, I'm like, dang, you know, like she really like did a whole, like God changed my mom, right? And I was just like, wow, like this is like my mama, like she really like a God-fearing woman, like, and it was beautiful. Like it was like mind-blowing. It was like, wow, you know, I love this woman. Like I love who she has became. And you know, I told my mom, you know, I told her as I got older, like what I was going through and dealing with and stuff like that. And I told her I forgave her, and I didn't blame her for anything, because you know she tried her best, and she was trying to build something that, you know, didn't want to be built. You know, he didn't want to be built up. He didn't want to, you know, change or experience the love that my mom, you know, could have given him, and he didn't want that. And I thank God that my mom, you know, it took years, but she found her voice. You know, she found, you know, her value, and that's something special. So I had to forgive my mom. I don't want to knock her down, you know, because she already felt bad enough of what happened. And God, you know, really opened my heart and my eyes to just, you never know what, like people say, well, if that would have happened, I do this, I do that. You don't know what you would do until you are put into a situation. So that's why I say, you know, I like to just observe. You know, I don't want to speak too fast. And, you know, me realizing like I knew my mom loved me, but the love that she wanted, you know, I couldn't give her that love that she wanted. Only God could have you know, could have gave her that love, and I thank God that He did. Because me and my mom, we are beyond close. Like when I say close, we talk every day, like maybe like 4 to 5 times in one day. It's just like how much we talk. So we are close, and we talked about the past. We talked about, you know, the trials that we went through. We talked about all of those things, and we, you know, my mom being the woman of God that she is, she was able to, you know, it hurt her for me to talk about the things that I, you know, dealt with, and, you know, how I felt. And I also told about my suicidal attempts because she didn't know about it. I was by myself, alone in the room, and, you know, I could have, you know, done it. And, you know, it really did hurt her. But she did not judge me. She did not, you know, she listened. Like she allowed me to express my, you know, me being upset and angry with her. But I told my mom I forgave her. You know, I don't have no hate or nothing. Like God has granted me peace because I accepted forgiveness, and I thank God for that because I needed it for myself. You know, and you know, with me having children, I did not want to put that on my kids. You know, I want love. I want happiness. I want to speak life into my children. I didn't want to bring my upbringing trauma onto my children. That's something I prayed on. I do not want that to happen. So that's how I knew God was real when it comes to my mom. Now with my dad, we always, I love my dad. I just didn't like his ways, and we always had our differences. My dad was a Rolling Stone. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, he's 8 of us, and it's a lot of baby mamas. So, he honestly loved his women, and he trained dogs and stuff like that. So he honestly loved his women and his dogs more than I felt like than his children, than me. I ain't gonna speak for them. I speak for myself. I feel like he loved his women and his dogs more than me. So that's how I feel. And it was more like I did not know my dad. Like, I didn't know this man's favorite color. I didn't know what his favorite food, candy, drink, none of that. I knew what everybody else know. He drank, he smoked, and he trained dogs. And he is a Rolling Stone. And he got a lot of kids. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't personally know my dad. I didn't, like, when I was a kid, being around him, I knew that was my dad, obviously. But I wasn't like, I was quiet around him. I didn't really talk like that. I was like, more chilled. Like my dad, he really didn't see my personality because I didn't feel comfortable around him, to be honest, because I was not around him like that. So, as time comes, like I said, my mom, she did a whole 360. God changed her, and she always said, Precious, you and your dad relationship is gonna get better. And I'm just like, Mama, no, it's not. I'm like, I'm this age, and it's still, it's been this long and it ain't got better yet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why now? It literally took, even though my mom, told me to pray on it, and she, was, praying for me as well. It took us 27 years. I'm 27. It took us 27 years to actually have a father and daughter relationship. And like what I know now about my dad, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't have no grudge or nothing towards my father, like whatsoever. Because what I know now, I'm like, wow, my dad, did not know his real father. He went through a lot of stuff with his family, stuff like that. And it just like, how can I blame him for not knowing how to truly love us if he didn't experience that same love? Now, some people say, people can go through something and then they can become better out of the situation, where everybody doesn't, know it, don't come out better. They just stick with what they know. And my dad stuck with what he know. So, I mean, I'm just like, I couldn't blame him. Like, I could not blame my dad for, my relationships, that my failed relationships. I couldn't blame him for that. I couldn't blame him for losing my virginity at a young age. I couldn't blame him for me, trying to find, love and relationships. Like, I could not blame my dad, because nobody put a gun in my head and told me, oh, you better do this, you better do that. No, I made all the decisions. I made all of the choices myself. I did all by myself. Now, the situation that I dealt with my dad, it played a role in the decision that I made, but I don't blame him for it, because I made the decision of what I did. And, I really wasn't like, I'm just like, I can't be mad, because as in like me, like I say, 27 years old, I'm realizing like, it took me this long to realize like, you know, my dad lacked love as well. He wanted to be loved. And he did not get the love that he was looking for. It's all about love. Like, God is love. It's what this world lack, love. That's why so much all this stuff going on right now. And the fact is that my dad and my mom lacked love that they needed growing up. I mean, like, how can you, how can you put something, how can you love something or someone if you haven't even experienced true love? And only God can give you that. So it's like, if you haven't experienced that, how can you truly, truly love something or someone, So I don't blame my dad. And, I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, look, I have, 2 children. So, he wanted to become his grandchildren in life and stuff like that. And I was just like, I love you, Daddy, but you can't, how you wasn't in my life, you can't do my children like that. You can't be wishy-washy in and out. You gotta look, you're gonna be in, you're gonna be in, you're gonna be out, you're gonna have to be out. And me and Dad, we had a very long talk just about, everything. I told him how I felt about everything. And my daddy told me about his life. Like, I finally can say I know my dad. And I can be like, wow, I don't blame you for anything, because you was lost. You was a lost soul. You was dealing with so freaking much that I thank God that you're still here. I thank God that you did not end your life. I thank God that he, molded us back together as father and daughter, to be able to have this conversation that we're having, and for you to be in your grandchildren's life, So I couldn't blame my dad anymore. It's nothing to blame, And I'm not playing blaming game, because I forgave my dad. And at the end of the day, I had to, for myself. When are we going to start taking responsibilities for our own actions? Not for what our parents or whoever did us wrong in our life. We have to make the responsibility to take to be like, okay, what I did too was wrong. Like, they didn't put no gun to my head and tell me to do these, to make these choices out here. And we reacting on emotions, we reacting on feelings, we reacting on all these things that we're feeling inside, because we haven't forgave. So I had to forgive, because I was, I was, I was in a couple relationships. I mean, like I was in maybe 4. I was in 4 serious relationships. High school, I count those, I guess. I mean, I count high school. I guess I count high school. And, one thing I can say I regret. I don't say I regret, but I had a very hard time, like, when I lost my virginity at a young age. I was in high school. And I think I can say, to be truthful, I'm gonna be truthful with you guys, I can say that that's one thing I do regret, is losing my virginity at being young. And it's something that I dealt with, and I was get so angry about. And I just, sometimes now I have truly forgave myself now. I have accepted my responsibilities of what I did, of my actions, and I truly have forgiven myself. But I was just like, what would I think? Like, why did I do that? Like, you wasn't even who the person I did it, who I lost virginity to. I'm thinking now, like, you wasn't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to be mean or anything, but I'm just like, why? And Maybe I was just, I don't know. I mean, I did it. I don't know. I lost virginity at a young age, and me and that person, we was together for 3.5 years, but I knew, like, I'm telling you, God, when God restored me, like, he fixed me. Like, even though when my life was just spiraling out of control, like, it was just spiraling out of control, God always seemed to be there to fix the pieces. And I'm just like, you here, like, you right here. Still, I'm gracefully broken, I'm gonna say. I was gracefully broken, and God still just dusted me off, fixed me up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I can't do this, I told the boy I was with, I'm like, I can't do this no more, and I'm thinking we should be together. And I was like, oh, why did I say that? Because I don't really mean that, but I said it. And I'm like, do I mean that? And I don't know. So I'm like, and the boy was like, yeah, we should. And I'm just like, wait a minute, what? Wait, it happened so fast like that. I'm like crying, like my eyes out, like, what the heck? Why I say that? And I don't know why I said it, but I did. And I'm like, it must have been God. Because I told, like, I ran track when I was in middle school. The guy I was with, I told him, like, I'm not staying in my hometown. I'm not staying here. Like, no. I'm traveling. Like, I want to see the world. I got, so I got things to do. I'm not staying here and just being here and doing what? No, I'm not doing that. That's just not me. I'm not doing it. So I knew, like, this guy broke the relationship up. He was like, that's done. That's over. And I'm just like, okay, that's that. And on to the next relationship. It was just, my relationships, like I say, I lost my virginity at a young age. And I don't regret nobody. I don't regret no relationship I was in. None whatsoever. Because they all taught me something, And it take maturity to accept the past relationships that you was in. Because even though you may feel like you haven't, grown from them, you have. Because when you leave that one, you move to another one and you don't make the same mistakes. And you know what I'm saying? So I was making the same mistakes, but also wasn't happy. And my happiness was not coming from them. Like, I needed something more, And I'm like, y'all ain't giving me that. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm missing something. And I'm like, I just feel like I'm just, like, losing my mind, like, and I go off to college and it don't get no better. I mean, woo. I mean, I'm out here, like, living life. Not saying I'm out here, doing stuff like, like whoring around or anything like that. Like, no, but I was in the streets, I shouldn't be doing things I shouldn't be doing, at the same time. So I'm just like doing this, doing that, you feel me? And I'm just like, just thinking I'm just young. I'm just, I can do that. While I'm just crying myself to sleep at night. Like, I'm like, Precious, why are you putting yourself through this in the first place? Like, it's your fault, Precious. And that's how, when I say that, because I took responsibility for my own actions. I'm like, it's my fault. It is. I'm doing this to myself, honestly. Why? I don't know. But I did. And I'm just like, bro, why? Why are you making yourself cry, Precious? Because you making yourself cry. Your actions, you know doing well, you shouldn't be doing this stuff, but you out here doing it in the first place. So, like I say, I was out here in them streets and shouldn't be doing things I shouldn't be doing. And, you know, God knew that I was like just trying to like, obviously he knew I'm trying to find myself, trying to figure out what's going on, you know. And that's when I started dealing with my sexuality. And I can say that I dealt with my sexuality at a very young age. And I felt like I first started dealing with it, I would say, first grade. I'm telling you, first grade, I feel like everything was just happening. I was just going through some trial tribulations, honestly. And first grade, I can say that's what I can say I dealt with my sexuality first grade. And that's when I seen, you know, porn. And I seen, you know, girl on girl. So I'm thinking like, oh, I'm a girl, so I'm supposed to be, you know, talking to a girl, you know, stuff like that. And so yes, I saw porn in the household, and I'm like, that's when I was like, oh, I think I like girls. But for some reason, you know, I can say that I did, you know, was attracted to girls and had little girls relationship, I guess. I like you type of thing. But I always knew like this is wrong, you know, like I'm a girl. I think I'm supposed to like a boy. You know what I'm saying? It was something always like telling me like, no, she's like a boy. And I'm like, but she cute, you know, stuff like that. And I'm just like, it's like like I say, now I know the Holy Spirit just battling with me. Like I'm like, no, like yes, no, yes. You know what I'm saying? So get back to college. Excuse me. So I dealt with my sexuality in college. And, you know, I pushed that off for years. Like I pushed it off for like years. I just like knew like I like boys. You know what I'm saying? Like I like boys. I didn't look at no other girls or anything like I like boys. And then when I got to college, I dealt with sexuality, and I was with a girl for like almost 2 years. So I dealt with that relationship, and I dealt with other relationships in college as well, where I just felt like I was just I felt like I was suffocating them, you know, like I just felt like I was, you know, I just felt like I was just trying to change them and just trying to, you know, make sure they love me, you know, and nobody else. I just wanted them to love me. And I just want, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make that person, you know, realize like, you know, I'm here. Like it's like I'm here. Like love me. You know, like, you know, see me. See how much I love you. And if you see how much I love you, you will love me the same, you know? So it was just like, I'm like, God is telling me that too. Like, Precious, love me the way I love you. And I didn't realize that until now. And I'm just like, the void I'm you know, was feeling, I'm trying to like let these people feel that void. And I'm just like acting out, you know, like just not being myself, and, you know, just was trying to change people. And, you know, that, you know, you can't change nobody if they don't want to be changed. Only God can change people. We cannot change people. And I realized that. So, me and the girl, we are friends. And I thank God for, allowing me to see my truth. And because I knew that I was going to be married to a man. I knew I wanted to have children. And, I thank God for allowing that void to be filled with him, with God. Like, God healed me. He allowed me to see myself as value, as me having a purpose. While I was in these relationships, trying to put all that value and that purpose in that person, so they can see, like, I love you, like I love you, like, love me, kiss me, hug me, like, be with me, you know what I'm saying, and I just felt like I was suffocating, people that I was in relationships with. I just felt like I was overly loving them, I was overly, like, just trying to, I was losing myself, honestly. I was losing my identity. I was just losing my value of a person, and I'm just like, wait a minute, like, that's how, like, was my mom going through that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, like, I can see what my mom was going through. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, when you older, you see stuff like, dang, okay, I understand now. And I was just not myself. I was like, Precious, what is going on with you? Like, why are you losing yourself in these people? Like, why are you giving your all to these people, And I was just crying, like, my eyes out. I was just crying myself to sleep. I just felt so broken. I just felt like I was just tired of proving myself, like, trying to prove that I love you and not getting that same back, And my relationship was failed. And, it was time where I was like, I don't want to have sex no more. Like, I don't, and who want to hear that? Like, being young and, in this younger generation, being, 17 through in your 20s, it's like, nobody don't want to hear that, So I'm just like, I don't want to have sex. God, you're gonna, like, I can go to hell, I would just, like, tell people I was with, like, having sex before marriage, like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And it's just like, that didn't work out. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. And, get back to my dad situation. Like I say, I don't blame my dad. Even though the love, even the love from my dad couldn't fill that void. I needed God. So even though the love from my mom, I needed God. I needed God to fill that void. I needed him to heal me, to change me, to mold me to who I am today. I needed God. The whole time when I was feeling all those emotions, when I was feeling like less as a person and just trying to change people to see how much I love them, to see, like, I'm here, look at me. I'm like, Precious, like, they not God. You need to go tell God, I'm here, look at me, I'm here, God. Like, I'm sorry, forgive me for analyzing these people over you. Forgive me for not knowing my truth, my how much value I am to you, how much you truly love me, to know that you are a jealous God. And that's why my relationships didn't work out, because I was I'm analyzing these people. I'm putting all of that worship into them and not into him. And I'm like, like, wow, God was always there. navigating and, turning me this way, putting me here, putting me there, just so I can be where I am today. And I'm mind blowing. Like, wow. Like, as I look back, I'm just like, wow. Like, even though I was gracefully broken, God was still there, dusting me off, helping me back up, dusting me off, helping me back up. And I'm just like, wow, God, you really do love me. Like, you really do love me. And like, I just truly, truly just like, I feel so free inside. Like, my heart feels so brand new. Like, my soul feel like freedom, and it's like I went through all of that just so I can be where I am today. And that's nothing but God, and I know it is. That He restored my relationship with my mom. He restored my relationship with my dad. He restored my relationship with me getting through, navigating those relationships that I had. Allowing those people to teach me, allowing those people to, allowing me to grow. I grew in each relationship I had. I grew. I learned from my mistakes, and I grew. For Him to mold me for my husband. And, it's just like, it's just so weird because, I prayed. Like, I literally prayed to God and was like, God, please send me somebody who don't want to have sex, who want to love me, get to know me, who is like a God-fearing person, like a God-fearing man who just on fire for you, God, who needs you more than they need me. Like, a man who needs God, if a man faithful to God, girl, that means he can be faithful to you, period. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, God, give me that. Don't give me my type, because my type is the one that hurt me. Like, I don't need them. Like, give me, not my type, but let him be fine. Oh, God, I'm praying this, but I'm still crying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, God, like, let him be my type. No, not my type. Sorry. I'm like, let him not be my type, but let him be cute though. Still cute and stuff like that. And I'm like, like I said, let him be a little, like, not shorter than me, but up there. I am tall. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just talking to God, like, telling him, like, describing my man, like, describing what I want in my man. And I'm like, and so like this. Okay, now the college that I went to first, straight out of high school, was in Kansas, and it was a JUCO. So I was there for 2 years. Coffeeville, go. Anyway, I was there for 2 years, and then I transferred. So I verbally signed to Alabama. As y'all don't know, I ran track. Okay. And I was gonna go to Alabama, but then Kentucky contacted me, and they would offer me a better offer. So I was like, oh, peace, I'm going to Kentucky. And I went on a visit, and it was nice. You know what I'm saying? Cool. And I went where the money was. And it's so crazy because, like, my husband, I shook hands with him, not knowing that he's gonna be my husband though, and I was gonna have his children, his kids. But I did. And literally, I was like going to watch them practice, and he came up to me. He was like, my name is Fred Dorsey. I'm like, my name is Precious. And he was like, I do jumps, I sprint. And I was like, okay, I'm a sprinter, blah blah. We talked. And it was like literally for like maybe 2 minutes. It wasn't even long. And I'm just like, okay. And we shook hands. Like, and deuces. Like, I went back to watching them. He went back to get ready for practice, and that was it. I didn't say I didn't like him. I didn't be like, well, I'm gonna get you when I come here. Like, there was none of that. And literally, like mind you, my husband was a virgin, and I'm just like, what? You a virgin? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, in a minute, like, okay, so what's up? And everything that I prayed for in 2000 and what the prayer was that 2015, God answered my prayers in 2000 and what, like 16? Yes, 16. It took a year, but it don't matter. And you know, God timing is always the best timing. Tell him, boy, God know when to show up. And I'm just like, God, oh my God, like, you heard me. You heard me praying. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you know God hear you praying, bruh, you be like, okay, so you know what I'm saying? Be obedient, trust in him, have faith. Boy, God gonna be, I got you. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be right there, ready to, you know, do something for you, because he know that you trust in him, you believe, and you have faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, he know that you are, that you're there. You know, he know that. And it's just like, wow. Like, if you 100% for God, he 100% for you. And I'm like, wow, you know? And I'm just like, God really blessed me with this man I'm with. Like, it was just mind-blowing how our relationship just navigated towards each other. Like, we just clicked like this. Like I just knew him from, like, I just knew him. And so crazy thing is, we both ran track in high school. We competed against each other. Never knew who, like, we both from Georgia. Never, like, did not know him whatsoever in high school. We competed at the same track meets multiple times. I went to their state when he went to my state, all of that. We got recruited by the same schools. So I'm like, we was going to end up together anyway. Like, God knew, I got you, precious. I got you, girl. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, bro. We was going to be at wherever we went. We was going to be with each other, you know? And it's like, wow, you know? And so I'm just like, wow, God. Like, it was mind-blowing. Like you really paying attention to me. And it's just like, when, like, me and Fred, we were just like two peas in a pod. Like, he literally was like my better half. Like, he's my person, you know, like my person, like my everything. Like, God gave me, like, the love that God is love, and he allowed me to have a piece of that love in Fred. And I'm just like, wow, you know, like, this man really loves me. And it's just like, thank you, God. I can't do nothing but thank God for that, for allowing me to have that love that my mom and my dad was lacking. You gave me that because I was obedient. I was obedient to God to forgive the people, like, to forgive my parents and my brother's dad. I let go of that hurt. I let go of that pain. A weight lifted off my shoulders. I couldn't carry that burden on me. I couldn't carry that anger, that sadness. I couldn't carry that. My body was so stressed that I was having, like, health problems. Like, I could not kill myself. I was killing myself slowly from holding on to these burdens, you know? I couldn't do it. I had to let go. I was just so tired that I had to wake up and say, you know what? I want to change. And I had to forgive myself, and God forgave me. And, you know, I thank God for the relationship I had with my mom and my dad now. I thank God for the past relationships I had. Because each person taught me something. I don't regret what I done. And it does hurt me. I lost my virginity at a young age. I regret that. But then again, I don't, because it taught me something, you know. It taught me value. It taught me my worth. And I got to take that back, you know. You know, God taught me the real meaning of true love. And that's something that I needed. And I thank God for just allowing me to realize I have to take responsibility of my own actions, and then what I do, how I act, how I react, what I say. You know, we can't blame people for how we act, you know, because we're going to take responsibility for ourselves, for what we have done, what we have said. Despite the people who have hurt us, who have did wrong, forgive them. Forgive whoever have hurt you. Forgive them. Let go of that burden. Let go of it. Don't hold on to it. You know, you deserve peace. You deserve freedom. And it feels so good to know that God can give you that. And I was just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to allow your peace to be restored. And it's a beautiful thing, you know? And when you take responsibility for your actions and for how you act, you will realize, like, you know what? I can better myself. I can be better at this. I can do better at that. And you will wake up with a change. And don't live for others. Live for yourself. You know? Don't try to please this world. Don't please your flesh. Do not please your flesh, because your soul is gonna be destroyed. Destruction. Don't please your flesh. You need to please your spirit, the Holy Spirit. Please it. You have eternal life. You have wealth. Please God. Obey God. Trust in Him. Love Him. God, man, God just, He's so wonderful. He changed me, and it's just a feeling of just, oh, I just feel so amazing. I feel so good. It's like your body just like a flowing of a dress. Like, we just feel beautiful. It's just, oh, I just feel so good, you know? And God just wants us to be free. He wants us to have a great life. We can have a great life, but we cannot live by society. We have to just live by God, and He will navigate your life and put you where you need to be. He will give you what your heart desires, but you have to be obedient. Trust in Him. We put all our trust in these people, but can't give that to God. God will never leave or forsake us. These people out here, we already know they're about, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you put all the energy into them, put it into God, and see how your life will change. Just put that energy that you put in these people out here that will lie, steal, cheat, freaking talk behind your back, gossiping, you know what I'm saying? All these things. Channel that energy to God. But I'm telling you, yeah, you'll be like, you know what? I don't accept that. You know, you can't, you don't deserve to be in my life anymore, because their attitude and how you know what I'm saying, you gonna start seeing some changes. You're gonna be like, yeah, I don't deserve that. I don't need that. So, you know, I know it's a long video, but I just wanted to talk to y'all. I just felt like talking, and I just feel like someone needs to hear this. So I just, you know, pray that this message, you know, can open up some beautiful doors and close some that don't need to be reopened. And I just thank you guys for watching, staying tuned in, and just always put God first, because he loves us. He is a jealous God. So he'll do whatever to get us back to him. I love y'all. Peace.